Republican Congressman Francis Rooney, member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, friend of the show who is with us now. Good to see you, sir. The Washington Post calls this a small crack in the GOP firewall. The question is, are there more Republicans who feel the way you do than are saying it? I
don't know. We're going to have to find out.
But are they talking to you? Are they texting you?
There are people that talk that have concerns about, you know, a lot of things that have happened. Syria and Mulvaney's comments here yesterday are probably going to drive some people to rethink this just a little more than they might have. I was shocked at those.
Why do you think they are so hesitant to speak out in the way that you have if they believe the same thing?
You know, that gets into the big picture of this whole entire job and how it's so stacked against taking risk, and it's so dependent on the quest for re-election and raising money and not wanting to offend anybody. It's not, I don't think, what the founders had in mind when they risked their fortunes to start our country.
Their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. Speaking of sacred honor, there are those who say that either Mick Mulvaney was lying now or the White House was lying then when they said there was no quid pro quo, then there was, now there's not. Is this a defining moment or just one more data point?
Well, like I said yesterday, I think it clears things up a lot more than they were before. You know, the president was saying no quid pro quo. I was giving the guy the benefit of the doubt. I was hearing all the testimony at the impeachment hearings, and come to find out there was a clear quid pro quo admitted to by his chief of staff.
As you are listening to everything in these impeachment hearings, are you moving closer towards the Democrats have a point or closer towards this is just a political hunt for the president's head?
Well, no, I think Mulvaney clarified there is a point there. And all this stuff about that we continue to hear more and more about Giuliani, Rick Perry and stuff, creating some rump, non-professional diplomatic channel. I just don't believe in that kind of stuff. And when I heard the dedicated public servants like Dr. Hill and George, the other guy, and now we're going to hear Bill Taylor next week, I think those people should be doing their job.
Are there other Republicans who are perhaps open-minded to coming over to your side on this but aren't saying it right now?
I hope so.
Have they said that to you? Have they talked to you about that?
Not in so many words. Not in so many words.
So you feel like you're out on an island
here? Yeah,
and
I really felt like I've been on an island for some time, because when Paul Ryan couldn't live up to his commitment to pass the offshore drilling ban to protect Florida, I asked the Speaker if she could help me out, and she did.
And that's one of the big reasons you came to Congress from Naples, Florida. You were ambassador to the Holy See, and you said, hey, I really want to serve. That's sort of what the founders envisioned. You've been here since 2017. You came in as a freshman in January. Do you need a third term? You want one?
I don't really think I do, and I don't really think I want one. I came here to get the money for the Everglades projects that had been languishing for many years, and to try to get this offshore drilling ban passed to protect Florida that Jeb, President Bush, and Mel Martinez and Bill Nelson got done in 2006. And I thought it might take 3 terms. I said 3 terms, but I think I've done it in less than 2. We've gotten over 10 times as much money per year for the Everglades as they ever got. We've got all the major projects underway.
So just to button this up, if we put up a list of the Republicans who've said they are not going to run again in 2020, do we add your picture there?
Yes, you do. Yeah, I've done what I came to do. And I want to be a model for term limits. You know, I'm the guy that came up with a term limits bill that doesn't require a constitutional amendment. People need to realize this is, as you said, Leland, public service, not public life.
Where is that model missing in Congress? You're announcing your retirement after 2 years. Nobody does that. Most of the people on the graphic that we just put up are from districts that are incredibly tight, swing districts, and a lot of, you put up Will Hurd and others who won by a point, half a point in the past. Your district is Republican plus 22. You could be there for as long as you want.
Sure, which is a problem that way, too. You know, I thought the idea was that you came and did your public service and left. You accomplished what you want to accomplish and you left, and that's what I want to be an example to do. And I'm also really tired of the intense partisanship that seems to stop us from solving the big questions that America needs solved.
Are you also tired, in a sense, of having to answer for everything that President Trump does?
No, I don't.
You don't mind it?
I just call them as I see them. Okay.
You're clearly not towing the party line when it comes to impeachment. Is that does that have something to do with it, that you don't like being forced that way?
No, not at all. In fact, I've disagreed with the Republican leadership on a lot of things.
You have?
Going back to the Secure Act 3 years ago, which I worked with the Florida delegation.
Some of them aren't very happy about the term limit bill either.
No, and they're not really happy about some of the environmental things or Trump's emergency declarations, which I voted against both of those.
On the issue of impeachment, do you feel like this announcement frees you up a little bit?
No, I'll just do the same thing I was going to do anyway.
And you don't know what you're going to do?
You know, it's just like we raise our kids and tell our employees. You have to do the right thing at all times.
All right. Well, the country is watching, and thanks you for your service, because it is a service and a sacrifice. A lot of people don't realize that, for you and for others. We appreciate it, and you will be back as this impeachment inquiry continues.
Look forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks.